Hey, I'm JR.
And I'm Mike from the 18 Over Par with Mike and JR podcast.
Welcome to Season 6 of the pod, where we'll continue exploring the sights, stories, and sounds of golf on the prairies, where you'll find some of the most golf courses per capita of anywhere in the world, and beer. Lots of beer.
That's right, JR. More beer.
It's the 18 Over Par podcast with Mike and JR.
You suck, you jackass.
Welcome to 18 Over Par with Mike and JR, proudly presented by Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. I'm JR, he's Mike, and today we're joined by pro golfer and former U of M Bison and Saskatchewan amateur winner, Charlie Boyechko. He's currently in the Phoenix area playing mini tours. All right, well, we're back, and we're on Zoom. So this is our first one on Zoom of Season 6, so our 6th year doing it. And as always, Bryce Matlashewski is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also check him out on our social medias. Just go to our Facebook, Instagram, wherever we are. Click on that link in our bio, and it'll take you to our link tree, and Bryce will be the first one that is on there. And this gentleman used to play at St. Chuck's. Bryce Matlashewski plays at St. Chuck's. And he's also been helping me out with my investments. And tax season's coming around as well, and he can help you out with those, or at least point you in the correct direction of who to contact when it comes to your taxes, RRSPs, non-registered accounts, registered accounts, all that good stuff. Bryce Matlashewski, he's the one to go to, and we got to send him our sponsorship package.
Yeah, I've been busy. I gotta get the PowerPoint going, the PPT. Get some good slides in there, maybe some animations.
Too busy winning money at Fourth Line Pub and Grill and Fourth Line Virtual Golf.
Check out this I got for.
It's an on-air blinky light. Where'd you find that?
Like my father-in-law got it for me for Christmas. So thank you. Shout out to Scott. It says on air for our friends who aren't watching. It says on air. It's a light that says on air. Anyways, yeah. Very exciting. Good. Tax season.
And you've been playing some decent golf.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It was stretched. I took a hot shower and things really limbered up. And yeah, we're winning some money.
It's the stiff shaft in your driver. I found that's my ticket. I'm actually going to St. Charles later this week to do a little bit of a fitting. Work on some things. I'm also going to be working on the game with Jay Nickel, who is a past guest of the 18 Over Par podcast. He's going to help me out with a few things, hopefully.
Yeah, good.
And I found the stiff shaft as I wanted to do because I was down at Avid Golf. I was invited to last minute to play in their 4-man scramble, their weekly event that they got going down there at Avid. And I was borrowing a driver, and it also had a stiff shaft in it, and I was just pounding the thing. So same thing that I was doing with your driver, Mike. So
wow,
we're going to figure some things out. This is the week. This is the year, Mike.
Nah, maybe I should be a club fitter.
Maybe. Maybe you could sponsor this podcast.
Oh, I don't think so. No.
All right. But on to our guest. Charlie, he's down there. He's in his vehicle right now because he got kicked out of the club he was at. The restaurant shut down and said, hey, we don't want this Canadian in our restaurant while he's doing a Canadian podcast. But no, we're worldwide now. If you saw our graphic on Instagram, you can see that we're big in both Chinas and both Irans. So shout out to ChatGPT or whoever made that graphic because they fucked up a little, but that's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's why you don't use AI to do your graphs, or at least get someone to proofread it.
But Charlie, where are you right now?
I'm outside of Starbucks. I am down the road. So I'm at a course called Talking Stick in Scottsdale. This Starbucks is about 5 minutes from the golf course and I'm chiseling their Wi-Fi. So resourceful golf pro on a budget stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's maybe even go, back to kind of, being the touring professional now, but way back when, did you even think that this was even fathomable? Did you think you could become a pro?
No. Well, I did at one point, and then so there's a thing. I actually have a long story about how this happened, and it started because I was working at Pine Ridge, and they had the Players Cup there. So I'd get to see like the guys who were trying to make it, and measuring yourself against others sometimes is a good thing, and at that level, it might not be the best, because I was quite encouraged, like, oh, I'm better than these guys. But then a couple years later, the PGA Tour Canada took over, whatever, the umbrella of the PGA Tour. And I remember seeing Tony Finau on the range, and I'm like, ooh, I might not have that. But so anyways, it was a dream to be a pro athlete. I don't know if golf was my favorite sport. It still isn't my favorite sport. My favorite sport's baseball. Yeah, I've always had a knack for like hitting a golf ball. I think when I was younger, like going to the driving range was my favorite thing ever, and still is. I like find it super therapeutic to, release some pent up energy and just try to figure stuff out. And eventually I got to a point where it was in the cards. Now, Winnipeg's a small place, but there is a lot of elite talent there. Like Rob McMillan. I was actually just talking to Rob today. So we all know this story. He was Tiger Woods' rival, like in college. Mm-hmm. And he's from Winnipeg. Derek Ingram, probably, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the world. And, he's from Winnipeg. And then we all know Aaron Cockrell. So it's like, it is possible, but it's also like a small pond. So I used Jack Nicklaus's like formula for like how to turn pro. It was like, you got to be the best player in your state. You got to win a state open or contend in a pro event and win your state amateur. So mine was kind of like barely that. Like I never won the Manitoba Am, but I did win the Saskatchewan amateur. And then I made the cut in the Players Cup as an amateur, but I basically had the driver yep. So I was using this like super strong 3-iron and got my way around Pine Ridge like for 2 rounds and then finished dead last on the weekend. So, and then I think I finished top 10 on the order of merit. So I beat a few guys who were very, very good. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's in the cards, but I'm certain that if I went to NCAA school, I probably would have been discouraged by seeing like one of these guys right away. But I've kind of eased my way into it. And now I know like it's right there. I think it is. Down here, I've played with some PGA Tour players, LIV players, LPGA Tour players. And as far as makeup, it's not a whole lot different. It's just their scores add up to different. So I'm trying to figure that out.
It's all maths at this point. You did touch on, hitting balls on the range. Is that how you got into golf? Did you have a family member or someone who got you into the game?
Well, my dad built me a tiny club when I was little. So I've swung a club forever. Like I want to say I was 3 hitting a golf ball, but I never really played until I played, but it was like, so I grew up out at Falcon Lake. So they had what's called junior clinics on Saturdays, and Jeff Hyland taught me the grip. Eventually Sandy Kursiba came in and, he taught me some stuff too. And I worked at the golf course. So I basically just hit balls on that range, played with my parents, joined Southwood at I want to say 14. Eventually I wasn't good enough at baseball. So I kind of just started playing more golf.
Did you compete then as a junior, or did that come a little bit later in life?
So I played junior tournaments on what's called the MJT, or the Maple Leaf Junior Tour. And then I played the Manitoba Junior and won Canadian Junior. And I was actually one of those extra years because I had a late birthday. But that was pretty cool. I got paired with Adam Svensson in the Canadian Junior. Wow. We all know who that guy is, right?
Mm-hmm. Sven baby.
Yeah. So it was actually quite eye-opening because I hit, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this is what my golf game used to be like. I was kind of a notorious ball striker and not the best putter. And I got to this golf course. It's my first national tournament, and the greens were like pretty quick. I hadn't seen anything like that before. And I remember striping it down one, hitting it to like 8 feet, 3 putting. And then I did that for like 4 straight holes. And Adam Svensson, I don't know if he even hit a green until like the 6th hole, but he was beating me by like 10 shots. So it was like Adam up at the end. I think that's going to be the theme of today's thing, is just get the ball in the hole. But yeah, like he beat me that day by probably 12 shots, maybe more. And it was like I hit more greens, thought I had more like quality shots, but his score was just better. Yeah, I mean, I competed as a junior, but then like my biggest influence in golf is Garth Goodbranson. Like he was the development of junior golf in Manitoba, and played for his Monday putter team, and then I played for him in college. And yeah, he's done some really good stuff for Manitoba golf. So really glad I've met that guy, and we're still pretty close. Like I go for like breakfast with him all the time. So
yeah, we got to get him on the pod. Well, I guess that's maybe was the natural path then, from being, a junior and playing on that Monday putter team to going to the University of Manitoba, where I believe Garth eventually ended up. Yeah,
so he formed the team with DI, I want to say in the 90s, like 99 maybe. And it was every year they started at zero. Like that's the one thing that they still do, is like they do all their own fundraising, and the guys got to pay to play on the team, which is kind of unfortunate because it is a CIS sport, but we're not really a part of the Bisons, at least that we weren't when I was playing. So we had every year we basically started at zero. Garth did a great job fundraising, met some great people through that. And, it's a great program. I'm really happy I went there, saved a ton of money too. Like scholarships to these D1 schools were outrageous. Like I didn't really get offers until my 3rd year, but by then I already used up a couple years of eligibility, and it's just like, I wasn't going to drop $50K to, go play as like the 6th player on some school. So it was like, all right, let's stay home.
Whereabouts did you play when you were touring around there? Was it the St. Charles here? Was it Southwood?
Oh, I was a member at Southwood. So I was a junior member there, played as a Bison member. And then I played 1 year at Pine Ridge because a good friend of mine, Josh Whitting, worked there. And I was trying to save as much money as I could, and membership at Southwood as an intermediate. I wasn't a pro yet, but I was a little out of my price range. So I went to, I just played at Pine Ridge for a year because I worked there. And then when I turned pro, I was fortunate enough to play on what's called the Aspiring Tour Pro program at St. Charles. I don't think that's a thing anymore. Like it was.
Yeah, I don't know if that is. Doesn't sound like it is a thing.
No,
it's the first time hearing about it.
Yeah, there were a couple of us that, I mean, this is the thing. Like, I'm so grateful a guy like Corey Cartouche, like that guy, he was, and he still is, so kind to me for, I don't know, it's been 10 years. I've been a pro for 10 years, and I've had like some significant health issues, but also like I've been trying the whole time, and I've been laying eggs. So it's like, the only reason he's helping me is because he's a nice guy. So it's like, he created a spot for me on the course. He went to bat for me for a long time and helped me tremendously on my golf game. So I have like a really like special place in my heart for all those St. Charles guys. And I'm still very close with a lot of them. Like we kind of touched on this before you started recording, but I started working with a new coach who's a St. Charles guy, Stu Bannatyne, who you've had on your show before. One of my best friends is Matt Johnston, who's close with all those guys. And Matty's like easily my biggest influence for like, and probably in life too. Like he's like a hero of mine. Like he's been a mentor and just a good dude. So those St. Charles guys, like it's been great to have exposure to them. And, I just really want to play better so that I can, make it feel like they're helped and go, unused, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it certainly does. Who are you competing against as a junior and growing up?
So the best player that I like talent wise would have been Josh Whitting. He's a year older than me, but Josh won the AM, I think, 1 year. Well, I know he beat me. I lost in a playoff. The other player was Aaron Cockrell. and he's very, very
Decent.
good. Still plays at a high level. Bryce Barr played for Bison's, very good player. We had Scott Mazer, very, very good putter. Didn't practice. This guy is just a natural talent.
Like Mike.
Yeah. Is that your game, Mike?
Yeah. Putting saved my life. But that's what I always say. But yeah.
You got to be a player, man. Don't be a practicer. Be a player.
That's right. Figure it out on the course.
Mike's going to make that into a t-shirt now. I can see his eyes light up.
Nobody got time for that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Stu actually I got like a bunch of texts while we were talking, and it's from Stu Bannatyne.
Oh, great. Shout out to Stu. Yeah. I forget what season he was on.
Tell him we said, hey.
There's other guys like talent wise. There's another player who doesn't play competitively anymore, but his name's Burke Weeb. He's a Southwood member. And that guy like was a prodigy, is probably like the best hands I've ever seen. Just like so good. And the sound his ball flight made, or his ball made off the face, is like unlike pretty much anything I've ever heard. And I'm down here playing next to guys who are making millions, right? So I still consider Burke one of the most talented people I've ever seen. Aaron is a very, very good player. And Josh, myself, and him all started at the same time about 10 years ago. Josh played maybe 1 or 2 years of pro golf, and then, priorities took over. He's got a family now and is doing great. Aaron, his career took off, and I'm still kind of like trying to figure it out. So it's funny how life has changed for all of us in 10 years ago. Yeah.
Well, you can kind of just see the thin line. And when we had Rob McMillan on, he just said any week. It could be any week, and that'll make your career.
That is true. Like, we're all a bunch of delusional dreamers, right? me more than other people. But that's the thing, right? Like, I say this as a bit, but it's actually quite true. Like, my perception of reality can't exactly be trusted, because I had some significant health issues starting in 2019. And, I suffer from delusions. Like, my pattern of thought is just a little unique. And I remember being in the hospital, and like the craziest thing coming out of my mouth to these doctors was that I was traveling the world playing professional golf. They're like, "You're from Winnipeg. What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I was just in Guatemala playing golf at the base of an active volcano." And they're like, "This guy's out of his mind." But it was true. And I was like living out of my car and trying to make it happen. And it's just like, I don't know, like I had other things I was saying that were a little out there, but better now. Like I went 6 years there where I was kind of just a mess. But I started playing again about June of 2025. And my game has been quite good. So I'm pretty focused. Like, I'm like, hey, we started feeling good. Let's give myself a year of feeling good, see what happens. Because like you said, it can change. Your life can change relatively quickly in this game.
Yeah.
So you took that long off? You were off from about 2019, 2025?
So I can just go over what happened. Like,
sure, if you want to get into it.
I had a psychotic break, and I was diagnosed with schizophrenia about, I don't know, like 6 months later. And here's the thing, like when you hear that word, you start thinking of like all the horror stories and like all the stuff that you see in the media. Because a lot of the behavior of folks that have this diagnosis, like it's quite newsworthy, right? Like some of them are very violent, some of them are, criminals. And it's just unfortunate because you don't really hear about the other side of it, the stuff that I think I'm more in line with, where it's just like, I just have a quirky like way of thinking. And I, for a long time, I was like, I believed things that probably weren't true. But I was medicated. I was listening to these doctors for like 6 years. And last year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I met a new doctor, and he's kind of really helped me get my life back on track. And he's actually a performance coach for the Jets, but he's also a psychiatrist. And he kind of took me on pro bono. I don't know if he wants his business out there, but he's been a good guy. And he kind of just stopped like looking at my illness or whatever it is. Because a lot of times when you go to a doctor, or new doctor at least, and they just see your rap sheet, they kind of just use the the information they know about the illness, they don't really treat the person. And, you know, I'm, this might sound a little arrogant, but I think I'm built different. So it's like, I think, I can think my way through a lot of things. And this guy kind of knew, like, I just wasn't applying myself, and he gave me some mindset techniques to, you know, kick it. And then I got off all meds almost a year ago, and things have been way better. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. That being said, like, I dislike the conversation around mental health. Like, it's still not great. I don't know. Like, when I was in high school, it was kind of big. They said like Bell Let's Talk was a big thing. And like, if I told somebody some of the things that I was thinking, like, they might have put me in the white room, and then they actually did a few years later. So it's like, I think normalizing just some of the, you know, the stuff is good. So I'm trying to do a good job of advocating to what happened to me and like how I like conquered it. And a lot of it is just mindset. Like, you know, talking's great. You can only tell people what you're thinking. Like, they don't know. But yeah, it's been a journey, man. Like 10 years of pro golf, and about 6 of those I've been quite unwell. Probably longer if you look it up longer, but I don't know. It's it's just been a wild time.
And what a mental game golf is. I mean, to be that, I feel like that would add to the you know, the stress of it, if I could call it that. But you know,
exactly. Yeah. So as far as that part of it, like, it's very important to say, like, golf didn't drive me crazy. Like, it certainly could have, and it has at times. But there was I had a bit of a case of the yips. Like, it wasn't, I don't think it was full blown, but like, I had a hitch. You know, I'd flinch at the ball, and my putting wasn't great. And a lot of the time, I was just because I was thinking poorly over it. So the game is 100% mental. Like, I don't know another sport where you can make someone better just by changing how they think. You know, like, I dislike a lot of golf instruction these days, and there needs to be a difference between like coach and instructor, or at least how you define it. So like, there are so many great coaches that don't know anything about technique, right? Like, they can just build you up. And I think golf's the most important for, like, or at least the most mental in that regard. Like, I go to a range and I can pump someone's tires and they just start hitting it better, like, out of nowhere. Like, you can't really do that to a hockey player. Like, you're not going to make them skate faster. You're not going to, I don't know. It's just a weird game. Yeah.
Well, what are some of the things then that you've been taught, if you want to, you know, unleash some insights here to make maybe our games better, or just what has made your game better?
Yeah. Like, you got to be free, right? So whatever that means, a lot of it, like, is like acceptance is a huge thing. As far as like mindset, there's a book that I read and that I'm pretty big fan of. It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And it's so simple, but it's growth mindset versus fixed mindset. It's kind of self-explanatory. Like, if you learn from your mistakes and just keep getting better, you know, that's kind of how you need to be successful at anything. You know, fixed mindset is probably what I was for a long time, where I just thought things were the way they were, and wasn't willing to, you know, make adjustments or, you know, do anything to, you know, fix my situation. And yeah, I think maybe about a year ago is when I fully embraced the whole growth mindset thing. And I feel better. Like, I still have lots of problems, and like, my golf game isn't like, I don't feel like the scores are reflecting like how, like, my effort, because, you know, back home I was shooting great scores last summer, and I think I've played 6 tournaments in the last year, and they've all kind of been busts. Shot some good scores, but nothing to hang my hat on, you know? So I'm still trying to figure it out.
What then was kind of the tipping point for you to say, yeah, I'm going to be a pro? Is it as simple as, hey, see these guys, now I'm going to go on the course and I'm a professional now?
Oh yeah. You don't need to do anything. You just say you're a pro, enter a tournament, and then you're in. Yeah.
And then you got to get sponsors, right?
Yeah. You got to have money. This game costs a lot of money, man. Yeah. I don't come from a ton of money. And like, I think I've done a very good job of being resourceful and raising funds. In the beginning, it was very easy, like, not easy, but I had an easier time of it. I was incorporated. I set up a limited partnership. I basically just stole my buddy Maddie's template, copied it word for word, maybe changed a few of the words.
Nice.
And
work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. They hit up some people that, I thought had helped other athletes. And, I did a fairly decent job in the beginning. I also misjudged how much this game costs to do it properly. Like back when I started, I'm like, ooh, I could probably do it for like 30K, maybe 40K. To do it properly is over 100K. And I don't think that's I don't think that's documented anymore.
And that's a year, like 100K a year.
That's just a year, yeah. 100K a year to be a full-time professional. Like there are guys who are playing mini tours where it's like pay to play tournaments. That's what I was doing all January, and they just have the funding, right? So it's $1,300 each event just for entry fee. Then you got to pay for accommodations and whatnot each month, travel, like everything. And it's so pricey. And actually other sports are starting to go that way too, where I'll use hockey as an example. Like to play world-class hockey now, at least for development's sake, like you got to be in those programs, right? Like I'll use the Winnipeg one, like the rink, to get into that program is quite costly. And you look at the World Junior team the last few years, they haven't been quite as dominant. It's because they're not developing the best talent. They're developing the kids that can afford it. At least that's my opinion. I don't know if that's a fact, but I think it's, kind of
probably not too far from the truth.
I agree with that.
And golf has always been that way, where it's like the guys who are traveling to all these major amateur tournaments, like it's, they're professionals. And that's why I think Manitoba is like a tough spot, because a lot of us, like we would just pick our spots and we'd put a lot of pressure on ourselves to perform for the Manitoba Am and then get into the national tournament. But that national tournament's our only big event of the year. And a lot of us would crumble. Like, I don't know if any of us have contended in that tournament in quite some time. That's how I justify it. And I always thought, like, just give me a full season, like maybe something will be different, but I've never played a full season. So I don't know. I'm kind of picking my spots, and I don't know. I think the way I've been practicing and applying myself, I'm pretty sure like something will hit. Just need to keep going. I'll actually use a quote that Ace, like Cockrell, uses all the time, and it's the stone cutter analogy. Have you heard that one? Where it's like, it's not the, so this guy, it's like a rock, right? A big old stone, and he's like chipping away at it, and then finally breaks on like the 1,000th hit. And he's like, well, it wasn't the 1,000th hit, it was the 999 that preceded it. So it's like, you just got to keep chipping away. I think that's pretty useful in any sort of endeavor, is like, golf, they love to say 10,000 hours for mastery. Like all of us have put 10,000 hours into this. So it's like, how do you separate yourself? Still trying to figure that out.
Well, even maybe there's something that you see on the range when you're playing with these guys. Do you see that there, the not so much the finish line, but that line to cross over to be like, okay, I can do this year after year after year and make it a career.
Right. So I had a pretty eye-opening month. So I can kind of tell you what happened. Like I came down here, my intention was just play what's called the Asher Tour for like as long as I could. So I had some bankroll. I came down here and I entered like the first 5 events on the schedule. I played the first 3, and the intention was like, let's make some noise, show the people back home that I'm not just like full of it. Like I actually am playing good. And then maybe I could get some more like sponsors. Maybe I can, keep this going. Also, if, you give me 5 events, I was like certain I'd cash in one of them and I'd be able to keep going. Unfortunately, my headspace wasn't all that good in January. Did shoot some great scores, but I missed 3 cuts. So I went the very first tournament, I shot 65 bogey free, and it was kind of sloppy. And then I played like fine the next day, but it was windy and cold. And then I ended up shooting 74, but at these mini tour events, like you just get lapped. So I went from like 3rd place to missing the cut. So it's like the margins are so thin. And I keep bringing this up, but it's like, it doesn't really matter what it looks like, because if you put me on the range against anybody, and it's going to sound super arrogant, but it's like, there isn't much Like I don't really have a shot, where like that it's missing. Like I can hit almost any shot. It's just their score adds up to less. So you can look at different parts of the game. It's like short game might not be as good. Putting might not be as good. What I figured out is that I wasn't working hard enough. Like being from Manitoba is like, I was told I had really good work ethic because I stood on a range all day. But actually, these guys, like they wake up, maybe, I don't know, I've been using 5 a.m. as like a wake up time, sometimes earlier. But I make sure I'm outside from sunrise to sunset every day. And there's about 5 or 6 of us at this talking stick course, and we're all kind of just like, at least for me, it's like a competition, like who works the hardest. So like, we do our drills on the putting green. Like for me, I can say with certainty the last maybe 3 weeks, nobody's worked harder. But the guys who are making it, they've been doing this for 10 years, and I've only been doing it for 3 weeks. So it's like we need a bit more time. Unfortunately, the time is seemingly running out. So I need to shoot some scores here, because unfortunately, being a part-time player just doesn't work anymore. There's very rare cases of a guy who's like, working in a golf shop, gets hot one week and then just keeps going. Like I don't really hear that anymore. The only guy that comes to mind is that Ben Griffin, where he kind of stopped playing for a bit. But then, he caught fire and kept going. For the most part, these guys have just been like dialed for years and years, and they just keep building and building. And it's so impressive. So I would say the work ethic is something that I think if I just keep doing this, then I'll eventually see some results. And I keep stats, like my stats in practice are terrific. It's the stats in tournaments. Like I just don't score well. So I feel like I hit my spots. I have a very good process. Sometimes I don't think all that good over it, but I say this a lot. I'm like, I had the nicest looking 73 you've ever seen. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this game, like, it's so mental. It'll really mess you up if you let it. But the beautiful thing is, if you're good enough, they can't keep you away. Like if you play good, who cares? And I think Anthony Kim said something similar. He's like, I don't need you to believe. I just need to believe. So it's like, I think there's a lot of that going on right now, at least for me, is I started to hear some of the whispers back home. It's like, what's he doing? It's been 10 years. I don't know how many people know what happened to me, but I feel like I have a pretty valid reason why I didn't perform, but who cares, right? You shoot what you shoot. I'm certain if I just keep working hard, something will hit. I had a career round just the other day, and a casual round, but at least, there's signs of life. I don't know. No. So I'm shooting the scores. Just let's do it in an event.
And you did bring up Stu Bannatyne. So is that something you're in constant contact with him?
Yeah, Stewie. And so this was interesting. So Maddie's a dear friend. Stewie and him are very close. When I decided to start playing again last summer, my clubs were a little outdated. I was using one of Aaron Cockrell's old wedges, and it was like 3 years old and the grooves were gone. And I'm like, ooh, this is not great. Let's go see Stu in Toronto, get fit for new gear. So I flew out there. He put me up, which was super surprising because he has 2 young daughters, right? They're both very, very young. And he put me on an air mattress in his basement. It was pretty sweet. And then we'd go to his virtual. Actually, hold on. I know you're just audio, but I'm going to put his hat on. Virtual golf club.
Yeah, virtual golf club. Yeah, that's a very nice hat.
It's solid, eh?
Dude, send us some virtual golf hats.
Yeah, a couple rope hats in the chat right now.
Quickly, let me interrupt here quickly. Is your car not like just a closet of golf wear right now? I'm
so it's this thing, man. We've been through it. I was quite active on social media for a bit. Like I still am, but like I was trying to be creative and funny, and it kind of didn't work. So one of them was like, I do live in this thing. Like I don't sleep in it anymore. There was a time where I was sleeping in this car. I mean, not this actual one. I've had this one since whatever, but there's 2016 17, I was house sitting. I was in Airbnbs, and I was like sleeping out of my car if it was nice outside. So it was kind of a grind. And, you know, I've taken a bit of pride in doing things the hard way. Like it's making it harder than it needs to be, for sure. But there's something romantic about like sleeping in your car, you know? I don't know. I think it's cool. Yeah. And it's kind of ironic that I'm at a Starbucks, because that was my like in the evening, I would just park outside a Starbucks, connect to their Wi-Fi, maybe watch an episode of whatever, and then pull into a Walmart. But yeah, I only did that a handful of times. The most egregious, I was working out of a course called Bear Mountain out in Victoria, BC. And I would like park my car in a parking garage and then just sleep there. And then I'd shower at the course, work all day, like barely hit balls because I was kind of struggling at the time. But I did that for like 13 nights, and it's not great. Not great for the back, not great for the sleep.
No kidding. Yeah.
A buddy of mine found out that I was sleeping in the parking garage. He's like, all right, let's get an apartment together. So we, he helped me out. Yeah. Pretty big.
We've heard that so many times talking to pros. I quickly, JR, thinking of, was it Curtin?
Yeah. Brad Curtin, Zach Thompson.
But he had the car crash. He was living in his car, and he had all his stuff and, you know, golf balls and shirts and whatever else. So he gets in a car accident, and his trunk like explodes, and there's, you know, there's clubs brutal. And balls and shirts everywhere. And I think some bystanders like, what do you got, a pro shop in your trunk or something? He told a good story. So go look up the Brad Curtin episode. But I mean, so many guys are just grinding and living in vans or whatever and traveling.
Yeah, that happened. That happened way more back in the old Canadian Tour days. It doesn't happen anymore. Like I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it since 2017. Actually, this is the coolest thing in my golf journey. This is complete sidebar. To answer your question, it's like I got all my stuff in here.
Yeah. Anyways, let's paint the picture. What kind of, what's the car?
It's a 2011 Tiguan. Volkswagen.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Okay. So you got some space.
Yeah. This thing's pretty good. I want to mention something. So I was on the range at a golf course out in Phoenix. I'm not going to name names here. Like the people who know me know what happened. It's easily the coolest part of my golf journey. I was on the range, and this guy came up to me, and he just started watching. He started talking my ear off. He was in Vietnam. He had a crazy life story. Talked to me for about an hour. And if you knew me back in the day, like I was a bit crusty when I was on the range. So it's like this one guy found a way to get a hold of me, and I just listened to him for like an hour. Anyways, I go a week. I was in my car a couple of nights. I was staying at an Airbnb. I was in a hotel, whatever. I run into him at a grocery store, and I hit another cart, like a bad romantic comedy. And it was that guy. And he started asking me about what I was doing. He found out that I was, he's like, I got a spare room. As long as you're not allergic to cats, you can stay with me. So
we go there. He's got 4 cats. They're all strays. And then I was the 5th stray. So I stayed with this guy from 2017 till 2019. I stayed with him a couple of years in between. He's still kicking. He's in a assisted living right now, but he's like my best friend, and he's like 80.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You run into some cool people when you're doing this, and this guy's life story, man. He was a Marine, was in Vietnam, and easily the coolest life story I've ever heard. And he constantly told me, like, don't tell people, because I think he's like hiding, you know. I think he prefers to stay quiet. But there was a book written about him, and I'm going to tell his story properly one day. He kind of just requested that he waits till he's no longer here, and I got to get his family's blessing too. But
well, no, that would be amazing, and it's interesting to see the people that have helped you along in your journey, and maybe that's a big thing that I never realized, or Mike never realized, is the amount of sponsors, the amount of support, the amount of help that you need to be a professional. Like we just see the guys and the gals on TV. Well, it takes a lot to get there. Some of them, maybe 0.1% of them have the easy rows, fast track, they're in there. But, 99.9% of those, you're grinding.
The thing about golf is, and I kind of said it earlier, like if you're good enough, you get all the opportunity in the world. So like Canada's development program is tremendous. Like if they see that you have some skill, they'll put you on their team and they'll support you. I don't think I was even ever close to that. Back when I played, there was the guys would have been like Corey Connors, Svensson, a good buddy of mine, Jared Dutois. So like guys who just been developed from juniors all the way to pros, and to crack that squad, like you just get every opportunity. So like they deserve it. They've made it, but it's just the money, man. Like it's such an important part of it. Quite resourceful. And I thought I did a good job fundraising in the beginning. I was pretty diligent, and I had lots of guys helping with the making it formal, like incorporating and helping me out with the tax part of it. But it was such a bust because I earned so little. I was basically selling shares of my earnings, and I never had any status. Like the best I did, I think one year is like made a cut on a Canadian Tour event. So that gave me some conditional status, and it was like nothing. So it's been a real grind. I've basically just played pay to play mini tour stuff and one Q school a year. So last year was my first time trying Corn Ferry. I actually royally messed up coming in, and I missed like qualifying, which sucked, but learned a lot. It was in Chicago, and then I told you how I was in Toronto seeing Stu, and then he gave me the clubs. I come down, play Corn Ferry, and then I like, do I go back to Winnipeg or do I go back to Toronto and see Stu? So I chose the latter and had a lesson. Yeah.
Charlie, and so you say Corn Ferry, so that's Q School 4 Corn Ferry?
Yeah, that was last year. It was just like the pre-qualifier. Like I've never tried that. And then this year I'd like to, so I got what's called America's Tour Q School in a month. That's all paid for, which is great. I'd like to do a couple tune-up events. So I said how I was doing Asher Tour, these like mini tour events. Competition's so good. Like Corn Ferry Tour guys, America's Tour guys, they all play in these because they usually take place like in off weeks. So it's like you got to measure yourself against guys who are doing what you want. I withdrew from a couple because I wanted to make rent for February. So wish that didn't happen, because I think being competitive and playing every week is a key, a key part of growth is like just learning what happens between the whistles. Unfortunately, I just couldn't make it happen. And I did take a pretty sizable risk coming down here. Like almost everything's on credit card. Like I got a couple sponsors, but it was important to me to like show people that I'm actually good, and it just kind of backfired. So working on my game, like practicing every day. I do like money games here and there. That's how I kind of stay sharp, but for the most part, I just practice like really hard and work out. Pretty much my life mission the next month, just to like work harder than anybody. So it's easy to say that. Let's just, put a result on paper,
What do you have in your bag now? What did you pick up from Stu?
Stu set me up with some Strixon irons, which was a kind of a shock. So I basically I'm quite stubborn with equipment, right? Like if I find something I like, I don't like to get rid of it. So, and it's got to look good. So I was like a big blade guy for a long time. And then eventually I realized like you need to optimize. And a lot of the time blades just aren't that. So I had like Titleist irons, everything Titleist. But then when I went and saw Stu, I tried these Strixon irons, and they just went like 10 yards further, like way higher. The grind of them was just different, better for different shots, and fit me into a Titleist driver, a TaylorMade 3-wood. I got like a Titleist driving iron, and then Vokey wedges. So gear is pretty dialed, pretty much a free agent. Just, I'll use whatever works. I mentioned the social media part. A couple like direct to consumer companies have offered to like put some stuff if I make a video for them. But like, golf is such at the end of the day, like you got to trust what you're using. Like if they're not paying you, like why would I use, something weird? So
right.
I don't know, but Stu is the best fitter in the world, in my opinion. Like just like that guy can, optimize anybody's game, fix them just by giving them a different club. So it's, I trusted him pretty hard. And then we had a couple beers when I was there, and I'm just like, ooh, he's brilliant. Let's start working together. And he was kind of hesitant, I think. Like he said he'd help right away, but he's like, I think he was just treading lightly, because I don't know if he trusted me. Like he definitely said, like, do you want to get better? And I'm like, yes, I do. But I think he was like careful. So he, he's been so generous, and I'm going to try to make sure I put something down here so that I can compensate him properly, because, it's coaching is like, it's just another cost, like entry fee and all that. Like it goes into that 100K that I talked about. Is, you got 10% of your earnings goes to a coach. So right now I have very little earnings. So it's like, what's he doing? We need to figure something out so Stu can get paid, No.
Pay Stu.
Bryce will pay him.
Yeah. Like you said at the top that Bryce is good at investments. What if we just do something there? Like maybe that'll bring in some cash flow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can give him a call and fax him.
He's a great guy. So he plays in what's called the Young Bucks at St. Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys aware of the Young Bucks?
We are, yes. I believe
I don't want to blow
Curtis
up their
was
spot.
on there.
It might be the greatest like league I've ever seen. Like it's so fun. And I was like a spare in that league for many years, and I occasionally get the call to spare. So it's great. There is a rival league now starting though at Southwood. It's called the Milk Barn. I'm going to give them a bit of a plug.
A tire pump. Yeah.
The tire pump, the Milk Barn. So it's for the better amateurs at Southwood. We all play. It's like men's night, but it's the best. Yeah. A lot of fun.
Tristan Schneider playing in that one?
I don't think he was in it this year. That guy works, man. He's a busy guy.
He is a busy guy, but he did come on the podcast. So shout out to him. Thanks for coming on the pod there last year.
You know what? I actually have a Tristan story. Like, so I alluded to not winning the Manitoba Am ever. 1 year I royally fucked up. Sorry, can you?
Oh yeah, you can swear.
Bleep that out because I'm trying to have a squeaky clean image.
That's right.
So Tristan and I were paired together in the third round of that tournament in 2012 at Glendale. I didn't know, he had a Bison bag. I think he played a year on Bisons, and I was a Bison player. So we were chatting, and I got off to just a hot start. Like, I want to say I was like 5 under through 5 and just rolling putts in. I remember I had like a 12-year-old caddy too, and we were just like stomping around. It was so funny.
12-year-old caddy.
Yeah.
And then I remember it being like kind of windy and like raining a bit. And I'm like 5 under early. Back then it was like, let's just hold on for dear life instead of like, let's stack birdies. So I ended up shooting 5 under. Tristan was like my cheerleader that day. He was very, very kind. And then I didn't see him for like 10 years. And then he rejoined Southwood and started playing again. He's a good player.
Yeah, he can play. And we see him at the Jets games every now and then.
Yeah.
I will say this though. So Southwood's handicap, the course rating, I guess, is like how they determine handicap.
Yeah.
Southwood, for a good player, is ranked way too hard. So.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
I feel like everyone that plays there, their handicap's a bit inflated. So mine was, I got down to a plus 6.2 last October, and I started shooting some good scores starting in June. I think Tristan's like a plus 3, so that's very, very good, obviously. I'm just curious to see how his game travels. I don't know how much tournaments he's played. So if he wants to do that, I would suggest he's just got to play more,
Yeah, that's like most of us. So that's kind of jealous because, for me anyways, I play a lot and I'm still not getting very much better, but we'll see. We got some new tricks up the sleeve here this season.
Well, you got a book to read. Read Carol Dweck's Mindset. That'll shave a shot off your handicap, guaranteed. And then just start practicing. That's if you want to get better, you got to put in the time. I think, instruction's actually kind of been a hobby of mine of the last few months. In the evenings, I actually do swing consulting.
Okay,
I don't charge people. Folks on socials will send me their swing and then I just critique it. It's kind of a bit, but I usually just say, hey, it looks really good. You can play golf with that. And I just try to build them up, right? Give them some drills and it's fun. But I've noticed that instruction might not be for me because it's so dependent on, does the person want to apply themselves? Do they want to like actually get better? Because a lot of the time guys won't work at what the coach tells them in between sessions. At least that's my experience. And I was guilty of that for a long time. Like I used to work with Tom Kinsman. He'd give me like a towel drill and I like wouldn't do it in between. It's like, why wasn't I listening to Tom?
Right. I've done the exact same thing. I mean, I go for a lesson, you know, I'll buy like a five lesson pack or something. And then I go to the range. He says, okay, work on this, hit 500 or 100 balls, practicing this, but then I'll see him whatever the next week. And I didn't even go to the range or whatever. Right.
Exactly.
Like,
it's so hard to get better with that. Yeah. So, one thing that I've kind of grasped onto of late is like trying to look at other sports and like how athletes do it in other sports. And so I talk about baseball a bit, but I was also a skater kid. So like skateboarded. I wish more golfers had that like skateboard mentality where they kind of just, it's like trial and error, right? Like to land a trick, it takes failing like 1,000 times before you finally land it. Golf is so similar. Like amount of times I've just hit stinkers in a row before I finally hit a good one. It's the only thing that I can think of as far as like makeup and mentality. So like I wish golf had a bit more of that where you kind of just go figure it out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember one summer and I just spent the whole summer trying to do a kickflip and I was obsessed over it.
Yeah.
Did you land a kickflip?
It was last summer.
Yeah. I actually still land a kickflip. I don't think I have my board with me, but there was a time I kept my board in my car, and it was just because I am what they call a poser. Like I can do some tricks, but I just want to look cool.
Yeah. That's me in golf.
Yeah.
You do look cool, Mike. That's the thing. You do look cool.
But everyone looks good.
I can't do any tricks.
Wear the outfit and you're there.
Yeah.
And a PXG putter.
Oh, don't get me started with those game improvement putters like labs. I got in a bit of trouble with some of these lab rats.
Lab rats, I love that. So I've heard that before.
Yeah, so
ringers are lab rat.
Yes.
I had a lab for a minute. This is a cool story. Do you mind if I just tell a couple stories now?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, go for it.
So Aaron Cockrell shot 60 at Nahaqua a couple years ago. And it was a casual round. I think we were bumping in the fairway, but it was still pretty impressive. He made like 1 million feet of putts and he was using a lab. So if anyone knows Cockrell's game, statistically, he's been like the #1 putter on the DP World Tour for a couple years there. And then he switched to this lab out of nowhere. I was like, what is he doing? He's the best putter on earth. And I don't know what happened. I think he was dealing with an injury and then like some other stuff, but his putting stats haven't been as good. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I think it has something to do with that. Like, I think he's really good at aim point. Like that's another thing that he does that I've learned is he's got his process and his green reading is tremendous because that's all putting is. It's like start lines and speed. So he uses what's called aim point. Anyways, so he has this lab and I'm like, oh my God, it's clearly the putter. I go buy a lab, I use it, and it's like it sets up pretty square and it feels good when you first like hold it. But everything I use set up like it just came off the face left, like no matter what I did. And I started realizing like almost all golf, like whether it's instruction or clubs, is marketing. So it's like labs found a way to market their putter as it just strokes itself when that's just clearly not how putting works. And they're so pricey. Like I think mine was like $800.
Yeah,
and
get up there.
Like the best putter I know, like growing up, Bryce Barr, like his putter was an Odyssey 1. It was like so there's a second swing across the street here. I was there yesterday. That thing cost $20. So it's like, and I'm pretty diligent with like measuring. So like getting on the Quintec, I had what's called an Adele back when I was at St. Charles. Corey fit me for that. And I go on the Quintec maybe once a year just to make sure my roll is good. And I tried every putter under the sun. Nothing rolled as good as my Adele blade. So about a week ago, no, this was about 3 weeks ago, I was playing a money game down here at Mount Shadows. It's a par 3 course. I was paired with 2 LPGA Tour players. One was Sophia Popov, and she's like super pregnant too. So she's like playing golf pregnant, which is sweet. But she's like very established LPGA Tour player. And we're playing this, it's a par 3 course, so lots of wedges, but it's like I'm hitting it to like stone dead on every hole. She like she's carrying a baby. Like she hits it to the side of the green. She has like 40 feet, cashes it. All day she was just burying putts. And I would like hit it close and just miss with my Adele. And then after that, it was such an eye opener because I hit it great, but I like got beat by a pregnant LPGA Tour player. So I'm like, okay, eye opener. Putting's not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So this second swing across the street, I went there and I spent 2 hours there. They have like a huge putting green, and then they got like lights that are kind of, you know, it's like the Tiger Vision line kind of. You can put a ball down and then hit a roll. It's pretty sweet.
Right.
I go in what's called the vault in the back, and there's just like 1,000 putters. I picked up maybe 200 putters, and then if I liked it, I put it in a pile. Again, was there for 2 hours, rolled putts, and I found one, and it's a Ping Fang mallet. Never used a mallet in my life, but it rolled so good, and I've been using it for about 3 weeks, and I've been measuring my stats on the Stack app, and quite elite. Like putting's good enough, so let's put it into play and like get into an event, you know.
Yeah, well, that must be exciting. But we've been hearing mallets have been taken off even on tour. It seems like everyone's using a mallet.
This one here is like it's got toe hang and it's milled, so I'm like kind of dipping my toes into the water. Like I'm a pretty big traditionalist. Like it took me a while to get rid of my blades and like my blade putter, and like there's few things I'll do. Like I am quite stubborn. Like I will refuse to use any grip but my traditional overlap, and I just feel like the most comfortable using that. But also it's like the best players of all time have done that. You know, maybe if I was a little less stubborn, I'd be a better player. I don't know. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it might make sense.
Put that in your notebook.
People keep notes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually great advice. I'm a big proponent of journaling. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That works.
Yeah. That's good.
So I got one story. This involves cockerel too.
Sure.
So we go down to Latin Tour Q School back in 2019. We're in Mazatlan, Mexico for like PGA Tour Latin America. So Cockrell had Canadian Tour status for a few years. I think he lost it, and we were going down to Mexico. Both of us missed. Like I missed by a lot. Like 'cause at the time I was kind of yippy and just in a bad headspace. And we go down to Mexico and we get an email from like the tour. Like we're already down there. We're at this resort, and we get an email. I was like, I guess a Mexican drug lord was like arrested on the beach of Mazatlan. Like,
oh my gosh,
like maybe the week before. And they're like, we're still going to go ahead with the tournament. And we're like already there. Like, how did we not hear about this? And it's like, it's kind of interesting when you go to that part of the world, things happen and that are pretty major, but you don't hear about it, and you just hear about the negativity. So like Sinaloa is huge, like the Mexican cartel, like it's pretty famous. I don't know if you've ever seen Narcos, but like that state in Mexico is pretty infamous. And we went down there. I felt so safe. Like obviously there's parts you don't want to go to, but like I felt fine. And then we both missed Q School, and we were in Phoenix, and he like texted me one day. He's like, hey, do you want to go down to Guatemala for a Monday qualifier? And I'm like, not really, man. He's like, oh, yeah, it's a cheap flight. We just drive to San Diego, cross the border to Tijuana. We fly down. Like it'll cost like $400. And then you get like, apparently only like 20 guys go to this thing. There's 10 spots, cheap lodging. Like we'll do it. I'm like, oh, great. Sounds fun. Count me in. So I had a buddy who was like working for Enterprise, and I'm like, hey man, like I got us a hookup, like a cheap rental car. We can drive to San Diego, walk across the border, and you know, it'll be so cost effective. And he's like, sweet. So we go to this Enterprise, we get this like car, we drive, takes 5 hours. My buddy's like, okay, so technically you can't, you have to book it for the week, but you just tell them your plans change, drop the car off, and we'll adjust the price from here. I'm like, okay, just took his word for it. we get there, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Like, you paid for the week. I'm like, oh my God. And then he's like, this is for family and friends. Like, you're not related to this guy. And they gave us so much grief. And I was like bragging to Cockrell that I had a hookup. So it just blew up in my face. So anyways, we walk across the border. We get on a flight to Guatemala City.
Wait a minute. So you walk across with your
San Diego to Tijuana, right? It's right there.
Right.
So you just walk
got your
across the
clubs
border
in a
and you go
bag.
to the airport there.
Yeah.
The flight from Tijuana we went from Tijuana to Mexico City to Guatemala City. I want to say it cost less than $100. Like, it was ridiculous. And anyways, we get there late at night. We had a shuttle lined up. There was 2 vans. We get in the first van. The van behind us, like, pulled in front of us, and then it kind of got swarmed. Like, I thought, again, my memory and my perception, who knows, but it got swarmed by like carjackers. So like, we were just like, oh my God, what's happening? And then we keep going. We drive up to Antigua, which is a couple hours north. Wake up in the morning to like a tremor. It's like an earthquake. So you look outside and there's this big volcano. And we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. The course was on the base of an active volcano, and it was like super hot out. So AC, I don't think AC even qualified though. Like, we both, whatever. And it's so hot that I'm like, I need a caddy. So we go to the caddy master, and there's like 40 Guatemalans all lined up. And I'm like, anyone speak English? And there's this little guy at the end. He was about 4'8". His name was Minor. And Minor just kind of waves. He's like, I speak, like, he just waved. And I'm like, that's my guy. So we team up. And I had a bit of a yippy swing at the time. I was hitting it everywhere, and it was so hot, probably 40 degrees. And I was playing pretty poorly through 6 holes. I'm just like all depressed, sitting in the fairway, like had like electrolyte powder. I'm putting it in my water, and it's white electrolyte powder. And I joked to Minor, I'm like, hey, well, Minor, this is cocaine. And he's like, ooh, and he kind of took some and snorted it. And I'm like, what are you doing? But he was funny. And then I actually withdrew. I had a panic attack.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So this was 2019. I had a wild, that was the year I kind of went crazy. And it started then, like, it was just getting worse and worse. But I'll never forget, I was on a downslope of a 4-par. And it was such a severe downslope that normally the ball rolls like 100 yards down the fairway, but mine like stayed on the downslope. It was like on a divot, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I couldn't like get it going. And I guess I moved the ball by like tapping the ground, and the ball like rolled 40 yards. I just picked up and went home. We talk about, you don't hear about stuff. Guatemala, that volcano erupted a few months later, and there were like, it just completely devastated the town or the area. So like, if you go on YouTube, Volcan de Fuego, just devastation and a lot of casualties, and you don't really hear about that stuff up here. So yeah, that's probably the wildest like mini tour story I got.
Yeah, well, that's pretty wild.
That's pretty wild.
The wildest one we've heard. Mike, I don't know if you had any more, if you want to jump into the back nine lightning round here.
Yeah, no, nothing. We can jump into it. I want to go to Antigua though. I mean, Guatemala is on my bucket list to
Dude,
travel to.
It's so beautiful there.
Yeah.
So at the time, I'm really bald now, but back in the day, I used to have long blonde hair. I had my travel bag, right? My golf bag, and I'm crossing from Tijuana back into San Diego, and the border guy's like just looking me up and down, like this blonde haired kid who looks like he's been surfing in Guatemala. So he's like, I guess you've been surfing. And I just thought he was joking. So I'm like, yeah, man. And he's like, no, this is the border. Like, we don't joke. They like, apparently I was in the States for a little bit too long, and they had a lot of questions for me. And I ended up booking it for Canada after that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go back to the States for a few years because I had my health issues. So that was kind of a weird time. Yeah. Good to get it all out. I wasn't willing to talk about Guatemala for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, nice. Well, thanks for sharing. But we'll jump into the back nine lightning round here for Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. Contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also catch him in our link tree. just go to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it might be. Click on that bio, and in there, Bryce will be the first link that comes up, and maybe there'll be a destination to Guatemala. Little tourism action in that link tree. We'll see. We'll see what I find.
Hey, you guys got to go surfing in Guatemala.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
let's go. Yeah, it's nice. That lake, Lake Chapula or something like that.
Yeah, there is a lake, but the ocean. I think the ocean's there too. I don't know. I'm not great at geography.
Yeah, I think it's.
Mike's got the geography and the watershed.
Right there in Central America. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right below Mexico.
Yeah. But good. Charlie, you got a nickname?
I got like 100 nicknames. Yeah. Charlie's actually a nickname. My name's Charles.
Okay.
Charlie is short for Charles, but not really, right? Like, I think, what is Charlie, 2 syllables? Like, I actually make the argument that Charles is like 1 syllable, even though it's 2.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's up to debate.
Like the longest 1 syllable name in existence. Anyways, I don't know. I got a few like all those Naco boys used to call me Chaboy. That started from a guy named Spencer Harris, and he like there's a Jay-Z song. I don't know which one it is, but he kind of just went Chaboy, yeah. And that's just the first 3 initials of my name, right? So I kind of stole that from him for a bit, but that's all because of him.
Nice.
Chaboy.
Chuckles.
Chucky, Jazz. No, I don't know if that's. I guess that's.
There's others, but they're not suitable for
podcasting.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it off. Have you ever got a hole in one?
Yeah, I've had 4. So is this supposed to be quick, or can I tell a quick hole in one story?
You can tell a quick hole in one story for sure.
All right, so I've had 4. One was on a par 3 course, so debatable, but it was 184 yards, so it was a long hole out, and I actually made a ton of cash doing that. But last summer I holed out twice on 17 at Southwood, and then I had one on 4 at St. Charles West 9, like the old West.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the thing, I have 4. 2 of them I was playing alone, and 1 I was in a par 3 course, so it's like technically 1.
Oh man.
No, but like, it's kind of cool. Like, I was recording myself hitting a lot of shots last fall because I started being a bit more active on social media. So I caught the hole in one on camera. So it is on my social media.
Amen. Yeah.
You can't see anything. I just get my reaction, and then I run up to the green and it's in the hole. So like, I mean, there's probably people that think I just put the ball in there to begin with.
For sure. Yeah. There's always doubters.
Right.
But so hole in ones are sweet. It is dumb luck. Like, one of the best ball strikers I know doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Cockrell has 13. You know, it's if you play a lot and you're really attached to the target, I think, yeah, that's how you get hole in ones. Like today I hit the pin, could have dropped, didn't drop, you know?
Yeah.
So this is like the most proud thing I have going for me and on the golf course. Last summer, I holed out on 16 at Southwood in men's night from 100 yards. The next day, so Milk Barn, it's like men's night 2.0. I'm playing with some of the same guys as the day before. I had the same number. I hit the shot, and as soon as it's off my club face, I just go, "Ooh, I did it again!" And then it dropped.
Wow!
So, like, I realize that's super cocky, but it is the coolest thing I've ever done on a golf course. And I think I had 13 hole outs last year. So
wow.
If you play a lot and you hit it good, like, it's just going to happen, obviously. And then you start tapping into the energy out there. Like, sometimes that's how you get it done too. Like, you just got to talk about it.
Put it out into the universe.
That's right. Positive thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. If you want to get good at golf too, this is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. Last year was my year back, right? So I went to America's Tour Q School, saw some people I hadn't seen for a long time. I was in player dining, and I'm sitting there, and the guy's like, "Hey, how did you play? How'd it go out there?" And I hit it great, but I putted so bad. So all I'm doing is I'm just being miserable, talking about how bad I'm putting. And this guy is just eating, listening to me vent. And as soon as I'm done, he kind of just looks at me and he goes, "I heard Ben Crenshaw only had lunch with good putters. He picked up his plate in the left.
Oh.
Wow.
Solid.
It's a joke. Like, he's just joking. And there is so much truth to that, right? Like, would you rather go to dinner with a guy who like talks about how small the hole is? I can't do this, I can't do that. Or a guy who like talks about how big the hole is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's so much truth to that in golf. And it kind of goes to what I said at the beginning. Like, if you just think more positive, you're probably going to play better. So I would say read the book Mindset, practice really hard, and think positively. I don't know. Those are the three things anyone can do. Yeah.
Like it. Yeah. Book it.
All right, let's be quick here. Yeah.
Oh no, we don't got to be quick.
Oh, okay. I tend to vent.
It is a lightning round, but nobody goes quick unless JR has somewhere to be. But I don't have anywhere to be. What would be your preferred golf ball brand or model that you play?
Like golf clubs?
Your the ball. What ball you playing?
Titleist, yeah, Pro V. So I got fit to the X.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, goes a bit higher. I have what's called a low ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a penetrating heavy ball. So it's hard for me to keep it airborne. And I think that comes from growing up in the prairies, but also Southwood kind of does that because it's so windy there.
Right. I gotta get fit for a ball.
Yeah. Ball matters. They're all good though. All the brands are good.
Since this is kind of a prairie golf show, what would be your favorite course to play in Manitoba?
I have the most fun out at Southwood. Again, quite biased, but like there's a lot of answers. Like I grew up at Falcon Lake, so I have like the nostalgia factor at Falcon is probably the best for me. Layout. Where else? Like really enjoy the changes to St. Charles. So yeah, but like the most fun is at Southwood for me because I get to bang driver and I just really like how big it is. Like longer course, 70. What is it, like 73? So that's the other thing. Like all these guys that play America's Tour love Southwood. Like because most of those courses on the Canadian Tour are like wedge fest. So it's like driving iron wedge. So it's usually tight. Southwood, it's like a big yard and you can just bang it. So a little more tour-esque, but I am starting to realize that these tour courses are like 76 and it's like way more, I don't know, like tighter. So Southwood's quite forgiving off the tee. I think eyes are kind of getting open to like what a real golf course is.
Right. Yeah. You got a bucket list course in Manitoba that you never played before?
Well, I actually played Granite for the first time this year. That's not true. I played it years ago, but I was on a bachelor party, so I didn't really remember it.
Mm-hmm.
This time we played 36, and I've only ever heard about how sick Granite is. Visually, it was really fun. I just thought it was unfair. Like there were a couple holes where like I hit a perfect shot. Like the very first hole, I like stripe a 3-wood. Probably in hindsight, it's probably an iron for me off that hole, but like literally right down the middle. And we just lost the ball. Like it hit the fairway and into the right ditch.
Yeah.
And there's a couple instances of that. So again, I'm not a course architecture guy either. Like if I've ever said anything bad about a golf course, it's probably just because I've played bad there. So we need to make that very clear that I'm quite biased. That being said, did have a good round at Granite.
Sounds like you've been around, the world, playing golf. What would be the most memorable course that you've ever played in the world?
Well, I think it is Guatemala. Unfortunately, that course is gone because the volcano erupted. And I only played the front. No, I played a practice round, but the front was pretty memorable. I don't know. Really enjoyed my time out in Vancouver Island, like Victoria specifically. So there's 3 courses that I really like. There's the old Bear Mountain. So the mountain course was a lot of fun. They've made a bunch of changes there, but I really enjoy that place. Had a lot of fun there. Very first pro event actually was on the Vancouver Golf Tour, and we played a tournament called the Battle of the Bear, and that was like my first check. So I have a bit of a soft spot for that course. I actually did work there for like a cup of coffee, and Royal Colwood's a lot of fun.
That's on the island.
Yeah, so that's right next door, like in Colwood or Langford, BC, and then Victoria Golf Club. You know what? It's actually the layout, like not great. It's just because it's on the ocean. It like kind of looks like Pebble Beach, so it's beautiful. Yeah,
I'll have to get out there.
Yeah, I highly recommend Vancouver Island or the Victoria. Yeah, like it's my favorite city in Canada is just very pricey. And
Right. You got a bucket list course that you want to get out to anywhere in the world?
Well, I just really want to go overseas. I've never been to Europe. I've never been to Asia, Australia. I think the Sand Belt would be cool. Like, that's kind of my cup of tea, is like traditional golf. So like, I've heard tremendous things about the Sand Belt in Australia.
Yeah. Sandy Cursiva, big
more
big
of like
fan.
Latin America, like Argentina.
Yeah.
No. So if I qualify for Americas, there's an event in Argentina. So I could do that right away if I just start playing better.
Yeah. Quick question, I guess, there must be like qualifying tours or mini tours in Europe.
Yeah. So that's how AC got his card. He actually lost Canada Tour status, and then he went so there's what's called the Challenge Tour. I don't know what it's called anymore. They changed the name, but it's like the development tour for the European Tour. He went to that Q school, but then made it all the way to the big tour, like through that. So yeah, you can qualify for that. And actually lots of guys choose to do that because Corn Ferry is kind of a crapshoot. You get 4 stages, I think, 3 stages. It's just so hard, you know? So the way they've set it up now is, what's the word I'm looking for? Meritocracy or something? I don't know. Is that a word? Did I just make up a word?
Meritocracy, maybe?
Meritocracy. That's it. I think I like to claim I'm smart. I'm not smart. The best players, like you'll get there. Like, that's why golf's great. They've just made it very, very hard to get started. You know,
would it be
got to be a stud in college, get some starts, start on the Americas Tour, which a lot of guys are doing. Yeah, and like they actually opened up Q School again. So, guy I caddied for, his name's AJ Ewert, just got his tour card through that. Like, he played Americas last year, and he went all the way to the big tour. So very, very cool that it is possible, but it's just like,
he won recently, didn't he?
No, he won Q School, and then he was he won on the Americas Tour. I think he shot 59 out in Victoria. I could be making that up, but he's very good. He actually, so that week where I caddied for him, I was still quite unwell. I was, that would have been 2023 maybe. So the year Johnny Kiefer won at Southwood, AJ was paired with him. So we all know Johnny Kiefer now, like, he's worked his way up, stud, shot 62, 61 at Southwood. So like, my home course obliterated my career best there on back-to-back days. And it was like pretty eye-opening, but also just kind of a dude, right? Like, I like to say he had like an aspirational vibe, just very easygoing. I was quite crusty before, quite quiet. And I'm like, oh, like, it's okay to have fun out there. There are just people, like, they miss it just like anybody. But when they do miss it, it's kind of like in a good spot. And then their short games are so good that they just find a way. So
I wonder, is it cheaper in Europe? Is all the same?
No, like Europe would be the most expensive. The most cost effective would be Asian Tour. Yeah. So you can base yourself out of like Thailand and then, you know, play quality golf. Like, there's some sweet golf out there. I did look into it.
Good caddies.
Caddies,
the ladies with their
ladies. Like, actually, it's funny that I want to say the Korean national team practice at the course I'm at right now, and they all wear like the face protection because it's like
shade.
Sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like down in Thailand, that's how folks dress up, is like just layers. So it's like I just douse myself in some banana boat and I'm good to go.
No free ads.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're just kidding.
No, what else is there? There's banana. You know what? Banana boat, and it's also my scent of choice. Like, you can't afford cologne, just put some banana boat on.
It is nice. Yeah,
it is. You're right.
Oh, that's good. Okay, what would be your career low round and where? Not necessarily in competition either, but
okay.
But you can tell us both if you want.
Yeah. In competition, I want to say it's 64 in a college event. I actually shot it 3 days ago at a course called Cave Creek. It was 11 under at like a Muni. So, I mean, the course, I'd never played it before, but it was, I don't know, it was like 6,700. I don't know how long it was, but I made 11 birdies. It was mostly ball striking, just hit it great.
That's
It was
impressive.
getting dark out. So I played the last 2 holes in the dark. I was playing with 2, I knew one of the guys, but I was playing with his partner, and we Like we were just out there having fun, and like he had no idea. I'm like, dude, I'm actually like, he was like, should we go in? I'm like, well, actually, if I birdie the last, like it's my best round ever. And he's like, oh, I had no idea. So that's actually sometimes just adds up to low. Like there's times where I felt super dialed and it adds up to 70, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's the mental part too. Yeah,
I have realized there's a skill. It's called like stacking birdies is actually like, you want to say hit one shot at a time. You want to say like, it doesn't matter, but because like really a birdie is just the product of like multiple good shots. But like you kind of get into a rhythm or flow when you make a couple early. And like, that's whenever I've played really good, it's like, I start counting how many holes I have left, how many like looks I'll have. And that's how you go low, in my opinion. The only person that I know that's done that in the Manitoba is Devin Shade. He shot 61 in the Manitoba Am one year. And he was like, he loved to talk about like filling the cup up and just loving the addictive feeling of like making birdies. So it's like, that's what you got to do. Like some guys are scared to go low. I used to be one of them. Now I like, that's what kind of gives me the most satisfaction is like feeling a bit of juice from a competitive round. It's been a minute in a tournament. I shot a 65 in an Asher Tour event, but it was like kind of sloppy. I actually was very uncomfortable over it. So the makeup of my game, it's kind of ball striking has always been a strength. So I was at a course where you couldn't really lose a ball. It's called Grand Canyon University golf course, like a long course, but it was like pretty easy. And
I'm sure I would lose a ball there.
I don't know, man. It's in Maryville, which is the most dangerous part of Phoenix. Interestingly enough, Josh Whitting and I, the first year 10 years ago, like to the month, we rented a condo in Maryville without our knowledge. Like we had no idea. We just thought it was a central location in Phoenix. Yeah. And I took a cab one day back to the apartment. He's like, "You live here?" And he's like, I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Really?" Yeah. So my opinion is there's places you want to go everywhere on earth, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's good and bad everywhere. I think something I've tried to do is like do a better job of at least is like, even if it gets a little tense, like you're in a weird situation, just, you know, try to be kind and like have a smile. And like, usually people won't mess with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel it's different for other people. Like if a girl was to walk down the street versus like a guy like me, like it'd be different. It's just, so like, I feel safe everywhere. I think it is good to have caution. Like, you know, there's parts of Winnipeg you don't want to go down, you know?
Certainly. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's all, every city has bad places, right? You know?
Yeah.
You mentioned baseball earlier.
Yeah.
And you probably grew up playing baseball and golf relatively at the same time. And my question, though, would be, you know, I've always heard that it's tough for baseball players to kind of learn how to golf well because.
So I have an opinion. I think the throwers, like the pitchers or like the shortstop or third baseman, they're actually all really good golfers. So because I'm a big believer in throwing. I think throwing is as far as instruction, like if you can throw a ball, it's actually quite useful for the golf swing. So I said I've been quite active on socials. One of the things that got me in trouble was like throwing a club. Like I thought it was funny, but it wasn't funny. It's disrespectful to throw a club. I did it on the range. But anyways, the reason you throw a club is because you get the little helicopter and it releases, like you learn how to release it properly. So it's kind of similar to the driver. You almost want to feel like it's a throw and you're releasing the club, like past the ball.
Right.
So if you're in the proper environment, throwing a club might be the best drill, you know?
Yeah.
There's a guy named Fred Shoemaker. He's a huge golf influence of mine, and he's kind of a hippie. I think I don't know. I don't want to like blow up his spot, but I think he's quite spiritual and may have messed with some mind altering stuff. But anyways, he's like a big fan of throwing, and I'm like, oh, that's great. So I actually ran into Josh Donaldson just like the other day. He's like my hero.
Oh, I think I saw you that picture. I'm surprised I didn't have that written down.
Yeah, Josh Donaldson. So 2015 Blue Jays, like that was, so I've been a Jays fan my whole life, and that was the first year, like since the 92, 93 year where like they did anything. So like I was in Toronto that summer. So I'm like on the range, like practicing. And there's like a group of us who are just talking shop, I guess. And then I immediately see Josh Donaldson like down the way, and I'm like, boys, like I can't hold court anymore. I need to go talk to Josh Donaldson. And he's like pretty kind about, cause I don't know, he was kind of listening in, and I just started talking his ear off about like 2015 MVP, like sick player.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great golfer. Like he said, he's a +2 or a +3. And to go to your question about how baseball players, how is it translatable? Like I find they all have the power. It's the squaring up thing that they have a hard time doing. Because in baseball, it's like they're not really focused on target. They're just focused on contact. So that's why I think pitching is more in line with golf. I actually played with another MLB player earlier. His name's Jared Young. He's Canadian. I think he's going to represent Canada at the World Baseball Classic. He's in the Mets organization.
Okay.
So he's like my height, like 6'2", but he's thick, like built. And he was crooked, like so crooked. It was so funny. But then I gave him a little, told him about the slot. A lot of baseball players, like they don't know about the slot. So as soon as we got him slotted and we got him squared up, he was hitting at 380 on a rope. Like the power that these guys have, it's because they're just jacked, right? And this is another thing, like a lot of folks think legs are the main power source in the golf swing. It's like, let's use the ground. Like, yeah, like to optimize, like that's how like when you get to a certain point, that's how you hit it far, is like using the ground. But, golf is crack of the whip. So it's like hands, wrists, forearms. I guarantee you, like I read somewhere where like legs are less than 20% of the power source. So it's like one thing that I've been using is like, and it's kind of dumb, but it's like, I've seen legless golfers. I've never seen armless golfers. I don't know. There's literally a guy at Papago the other day who didn't have legs and he was playing golf. It was so sweet.
Well, that doesn't bode well for my game because my legs are. That's what I was kind of giving everything.
You got big legs or what?
I got big
Glutes.
legs. Yeah, big
Maybe
glutes.
Mike's new nickname, Glutes.
Now, is there a book on how to get slotted? How can a guy like me get slotted?
Well, I do consulting. Just send me a swing. I'll look at it. But you said you got another guy who's helping you out, right?
Yeah, I'm off and on. I have.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't mind helping like friends, and like, I like doing it. It is a hobby. Like I do have something in the works where it's like an online swing consulting thing that I might do if golf doesn't work out. Like it could be a good way to make some money. I think there's a lot of money in teaching. And I've planted some seeds with some guys that I like, and we got a few guys all over the country interested. So it could be cool. The angle that we're going to use though is that we've all played the game. So I think that's an important thing is high performance coaches. Like it's very important that they've been tested, right? Like that they know what's there. Cause like I'll use the guy that I lived with as an example. He was in Vietnam, right? So if I go read about Vietnam and then try to like relate to him, he'd kind of get upset, It's not even, it's maybe a really bad analogy because war is like the worst, but like, and golf is just a game, but you gotta be able to understand like how your body changes when you're like standing over a shot where it matters and like under pressure, it's something that you can't really read about. And I'm a huge fan of any coach who like loves the game and they love to work on their game because it matters. Like I think if you can shoot a score, like that's the best thing. Gives you a little bit of credibility too.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense to me. I'll wrap this up with our flagship question in the back nine lightning round. What is your favorite condiment? Condiment. Yeah. What are you putting on your whatever? A sandwich.
Shameless plug. Smack Dab mustard.
Yeah, there we go.
Josh Whitting's wife.
Okay, we talked about Smack Dab quite a bit. Love it.
She
mustard.
She's known as the mustard queen. I haven't talked to her in like 10 years, but back in the day when she was making mustard out of her kitchen, like I would go over to Josh, like she was just making it for friends, and I'd like, hey Josh, I need some mustard. And he would like come out with a brown paper bag and it looked like a drug deal every time.
That's awesome.
It was so funny. Yeah.
That's great.
Wow.
We
Yeah,
gotta get her
I
off.
realized this was a lightning round. This was the slowest lightning round in the history of
No,
lightning
that's
rounds.
good. That's how we pull all those good stories and good anecdotes out of you.
Well, that was the back nine lightning round for Bryce Matlashewski, who is an investment advisor with Endeavor Wealth Management, part of IA Private Wealth, and a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund. You can contact Bryce at 204-515-3446. You can also catch him in our bio. Just go to our Facebook, Instagram, any of our social medias. Click on that link in our bio, and he'll be right there. And we'll have some more information about Charlie, Charles, Chaboy. It'll all be in there. Well, this was great. You hopefully can get some sleep tonight. You can get out of the Starbucks parking lot.
Oh, I don't sleep. I don't sleep. Oh, no. So here, one thing I'd like to say. I don't know if this will go in. You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
But, so I was a very depressed individual for about 32 years. Very quiet, very agreeable. Very just like I didn't like to put myself out there. Last year, I started feeling better, like energy changed. I had a significant personality shift. And it was concerning, I think, to a lot of people in my orbit because of my mental health issues. So one thing that I realized is putting yourself out there is so useful, and it frees you up when you don't care. So things that I do, like I go up on stage, do open mics, I do karaoke. Like I just try to make myself feel uncomfortable because I've found that it's just a better way to be. Like I keep talking about this guy I lived with, but he had like PTSD. So if he was having a tough day, what he would do is he would kind of lean into it. He would turn on Saving Private Ryan, watch the first scene, and like crank the volume, and you just kind of like lean into the fear. So it's like a bit of exposure therapy. I don't really know what I'm talking about with that, but that's what worked for me. Is like only way to conquer it is just to like take it head on. So whether it's golf, like yips, a lot of people struggle with a certain shot. Like at the end of the day, it's in your power, and I think you can conquer it if you just think the right way. Now, whether it's right or wrong, who knows? But there is a way to apply yourself, and a lot of it is just mindset. So if anyone wants to take that away from whatever this is like, that's what I'm trying to do, is just share some useful mindset techniques, and hopefully, I don't know, like it could work. Who knows? I think there's something to be said about trial and error too. Yeah.
No, that was great. That's a good way to book note the podcast here. We really appreciate you again taking the time, jumping on, talking about the trials and tribulations of tour golf and professional golf, as well as some mental health issues. We really appreciate the candor.
This was great too, and,
thanks.
And truly, best of luck to you, and we're rooting for you.
All right, thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.